my beautiful stars. Feels like I've got something in my throat. All right. Main collective. What is your beautiful focus today? Oh. One more. Two more. Okay, so we've got conflict, emotional storm, past life, connection, especially with divine masculine here. Okay, this is a big top row. Clearly, for the right collective, something that's influences and rejection. Okay. Main collective, you're clearly going through some form of emotional storm. Whatever conflict you're facing, maybe this kind of came out of nowhere. There's certain differences with whoever the person is on your mind that has clearly created some form of abruption here. Now, the fact I've put these two together, this collective, I do think you're feeling some form of rejection, but maybe you think this rejection has been impacted by outside influence as well. This card is about third parties. Hold on, I want one more for these two. Okay, you're exhausted. So this collective, whatever this is right now, makes sense with conflict, emotional storm. I feel for the right collective, for you to be exhausted with this, there's clearly something that hasn't been said. You are doing your mind, trying to give yourself your own answers at the moment. I definitely think there's just some things missing and it's not making sense to you. Emotional storm and exhausted. The right collective, you were definitely overwhelmed. You're in unstable emotion. It's definitely affected you. So maybe you really didn't see this coming. I feel this has really come left field for the right collective. The fact you've got divine masculine here and not runner, like you would think very fondly of this person. And I always say that divine masculine strength, like he locks in, you would have felt conquered by this person in the past. It would have felt very, very aligned, especially if you're seeing it as a past life connection. And I feel whatever energy you're facing, you're definitely not getting that, direct conquering energy from this person. I feel this person has really put you at an arm's distance. And of course, especially if it's out of character for them, it does make sense why you would think other people have maybe affected this. Hold on, I'm being called to get these quickly. I just want to see what's around your heart space. First card. So you do have, this is actually around your heart space. You've got soul connection here. This is my soul contract card. Hold on. That's a big chunk, but let's get them. Okay, you've got love, the sailing boat, trying to keep a positive mindset. This is what I'm a bit shocked at. This is my cycles 50-50. So it's something that's been repetitive here. I'm just thrown a little bit at seeing divine masculine on main collective's mind, especially if this is orbited, because there's a reason I said this being here and not the runner. When I was first reading this, I kind of felt this is something that you haven't dealt with before and you're in shock. Like I was feeling more that kind of one moment things are feeling great, and then the next moment it's like, where did that come from? It's like a little argument, a little kind of setback, and it's just sent this through to a place of now you feeling rejected and this person just kind of going, see ya, I'm out of here. But for this to come out, this collective, you've gone through this before, especially with this soul contract here. There's clearly something you're meant to learn from each other through this connection. This could be maybe right now especially if you resonate with the counterpart journey, the twin flame journey, maybe this whole situation, because it's happened again, it's making you question everything. It's going to be intriguing to see what confirms that divine masculine. But the fact, even around your heart space right now, there's something about keeping a positive mindset that clearly I can kind of see it in this top row. I know we've got emotional storm and conflict and exhaustion, but these two here, this is a tough one. It's confusing. Hovering over the phone, waiting for a message to arrive. I feel this is more this collective. I will confirm though. Okay, so you are trying to make healthier choices. This is why I feel you've dealt with it before, because it's that deja vu. Maybe the first time you dealt with this situation, it was really, really gut-wrenching. And everything I say is for a reason. I always say, true divines, you get stuck on a layer. And maybe this is kind of your layer. Every time this pops around, it's like something just happens out of nowhere and it ends up in a complete emotional storm and really chaotic. It's like you think things are starting to move forward and then boom, something happens. I do feel this collective making healthier choices in love, in life, self-care, trying to be happier, but I think this collective, you're kind of at your brink here. Okay, love. Questioning, is it karmic? There's definitely a lesson. I think karmics get such a bad flack. Like, we were all karmics once upon a time. We are karmics to others. Karmics, just like soulmates, just like divines, they are loves that have carried throughout all of our lives, right? I always say karmics give different lessons to divines and soulmates, and also karmic triggers emotional turbulence, our own karmic energy that we hold in our shadow self, in our purple curtain. And I always say true divines are meant to amplify your triggers, your karmic triggers, to the utmost, to start amplifying your greatness. But when it comes to this love situation, because this card, yes, it's about unconditional love, but it's learning self-love. So even around your heart space right now, when it comes to that unconditional love of self, fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, loving you, there is something that is clearly activating right now in your soul contract with this person to do with karmic triggers internally. And it really is to start letting go and loving you. And I feel this collective intuitively, even though you've got divine masculine past life energy here, there's something that's urging you to release this. You're feeling exhausted. Now you're questioning, is it somebody else's influence? This emotional storm, you don't want to be in it, right? Especially with this sailing boat, receiving what you need, progression arriving. I feel there's a valuable lesson that you're learning right now to do with self-love, and what it is in your own karmic debris that keeps you tied on to an energy that keeps orbiting but always ending the same, right? I feel this collective, you're clearly looking inwards a little bit to ask yourself why. And I feel it's more you have a question mark right now over your journey. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, let's just confirm these. That's a few, but anyway, that's good. Oh, and we've got self-indulgence here, as we said it. So focusing on self, shadow self, focusing on self-worth, time to heal shadow work, self-appreciation. Makes sense with this healthier choices, this love, and this coffin energy. So underneath this sailing boat, yes, this is about endings, bring new beginnings, but through growth and change. So maybe this is finally the cycle you break this layer, because you've got so many here through this trigger. I do think you're dealing with it differently. Maybe it doesn't feel like it right now because you're in the midst of it, but Every time they come in and give you that fire that you have to walk through, that brings up triggers, that brings up chaos, that brings up emotion in your shadow self, I always say, without the fire, you do not grow. But you all eventually get to a phoenix phase where you walk through that fire for one last time and you don't deal with it anymore. And you break that layer. And I do think for your very first card to be soul contract, you're coming into a pivotal lesson about self-love and self-appreciation. And again, this boat is clearly destined here, but it needs growth. It needs a change of direction. And I just keep looking back at this influence card, and I always say this: if you're looking at it really 3D and thinking, right, even if it's just a thought pattern that your rejection is affected by other people's opinions, it doesn't matter, because this person is choosing, even and especially if it is something destined through veils, to listen to this stuff, to prioritize this stuff. And when you're holding on to try and understand why they're doing a certain thing, in an odd way, you're excusing their behavior. You're taking the blame off them and putting it onto others, right? Which then is completely null and voiding your own trauma, your own triggers of why you keep choosing someone, even if it is affected by outside people, friends, family, other love interests, whatever it is. Doesn't matter what's affecting it. This person is clearly treating you to a point of exhaustion, feeling rejected, feeling an emotional storm. It's just about asking self why you keep excusing it, right? Because this whole journey, especially if it really is divine, it's to knuckle into that karmic debris, that shadow self, the wounding of self, that makes you keep enduring through it and thinking that this collective, you keep excusing it because they're my divine, they're my twin flame. No, when you guys hold on to the label, you're putting a band-aid over what really needs to be healed. Again, we talk about this nearly every day. Right now, around your heart space, there's triggers being activated for a reason. They're wanting you to see this differently, right? This journey starts with self, true self-love. I say until you guys can see yourself properly, they'll never see you properly, right? You don't deserve this. Influence, outside influence or not, divine counterpart or not, you don't deserve to feel like you're in an emotional storm of chaos and constantly feeling rejected, right? How are you going to heal your trauma if you keep aligning with the things that are activating this wounding, right? Okay, lightning. So you got lightning coming in here. I feel you've just gone through a storm. Sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, unless this is just what's happened, but there's a... Hold on a second. I'm feeling you guys could be coming into another kind of... Hold on, one more. I just want to see... We'll just pull 3 cards, communicate, they'll be back, or that little yes card. This could be on its way, or confession. Okay, so open up your heart. Oh no. You did get a communication card, but the one with communication issues. Mercury retrograde could be maybe this... That was a while ago. A while ago. This more feels like this is something that's just happened, but maybe last retrograde, this is when this all got ignited, and maybe it's brewing again because you can feel this around you. I was feeling that was more you guys. Fire sign. Okay. You could be a fire sign, they could be, but I'm hearing that new moon energy, 17th. We've got 7 planets in Aries. I feel this is definitely being stirred cosmically for a reason, but as for this lightning, I think you guys have already experienced it, and maybe you're trying to fall into a positive mindset here. Let's get one more. Wands in tarot these days. them presenting too full of themselves. I think this lightning has already happened, and this is what's activating everything around your heart space. I always say, until you guys break the layer, you're going to keep being presented the same version of themselves. So clearly this person, what makes this very frictional. When they come in, they are presenting very full of themselves. Maybe you're not feeling heard. Maybe they haven't taken accountability for how much they have hurt you. And again, there's a reason I say everything. I feel this collective, when you first were in alignment, this person really conquered you. They made you, for you to even have an inkling they are this, they would have treated you so well. But since whatever happened to start your separation, you haven't seen this version of them. You've seen the masked version that's full of themselves, not paying any attention to your needs and wants, right? But how long can you hold on to the past version, right? Because I feel this is what makes this collective endure through this stuff. Talking to myself, I was saying I keep blocking in this reading, which makes me think you and this person are still at that phase. There's a lack of depth of transparency. I think you both have things that you want to say, but you hold back here. This hammer. Mirror, as I said, both of you. So you both have gone into self-sabotage here before. You both are reflecting on the cycles, right? The repetitive energy. Should we work on it? Why does this keep happening? Again, the self-sabotage that comes through actions and decisions because of karmic debris. I feel you guys have a real lack of, again, transparent communication. And that's why it ends up being so frictional. Oh my God, and now you've got this. I feel there's something coming. I'm going to be honest, because underneath hovering, now you've got the sword of truth. So you've got the lightning. These are sudden movement cards, right? So clarity, truth, revelation. But this card here is about protect yourself, stand in your power. And I feel this collective. Look what's activating around your heart space. You've got a very, very pivotal lesson coming that's being led with fire. So passion, a lot of action, and I just don't think this situation should be approached in ignition. I think it needs more center, because that's clearly what happens with you guys. It gets to a point of too much emotion, and then one, if not both of you, just end up shutting down here. Let's just finish this. I'm going to do a you versus them for this collective. All right, conflict. So you are sad. You're in sorrow over this. Loss, grief. Hopefully you're not going through depression because of this. I have to confirm, the right collective, this is really heavy playing on your mind, right? I always say as a reader, I'm not here to tell you how to feel, I'm here to confirm it. So if you're a collective where you're kind of just, you know, yeah, it's on your mind sometimes, but it's not like in your energy right now. This is not you. This collective, this is heavy stuff. You're at a point of exhaustion. So maybe not even just exhausted emotionally, but physically. Maybe you've been oversleeping. Maybe you've been getting random headaches. Like, I feel this is actually affecting your body, right? Which again, it makes me feel like you're either in the midst of this, or if this has happened, let's say it is that Mercury retrograde, last Mercury retrograde, and all of a sudden it's catching up to you and you're feeling this way, I always say it's for a reason. Your body's preparing you for something, especially your first card being that soul contract. And when I see this, right, because you've got sorrow over this, you're clearly wanting to fix it. But again, you've got to try and see your emotion outside of the box. Look at how this person's made you feel. This reminds me of my collectives. You find strength in silence, right? I'm not going to do this again. No, no, no. But then this stuff starts to come through. You crave them. You miss them. Are they my divine? Are they my counterpart? Maybe it's not even their fault. Maybe it was because of this. Maybe it was because of that. And then they reappear, right? Cosmic alignment. And everything you're finding strength in, unfortunately, it goes out the window. And those boundaries that should be put into place, you don't put them into place, and then you get stuck on the same layer and the same thing happens and you repeat the same cycle, right? And then you repeat the same cycle. So the fact that you've got sorrow, you're really, it feels like you're just longing, you're craving for this, but look what's behind it. Like, this has made you feel rejected. You just don't want to be that they pop up, oh, hey, how you going? And acting like nothing's happened. Because like I said, I feel for the right collective. There's a real lack of clear, transparent communication when it comes to the depth of emotion here. I think you both mask things. And you've got to remember your mirror came out underneath the hammer. So you both have gone into self-sabotage and self-destruction when it comes to this connection because of wounding. So the emotional storm, when you reflect on the intimacy, but the emotional intimacy, the bonding, the confiding, the conversations. So maybe you've really had moments to think that you'll never, you know, which is sad. It's not the case, but I find a lot of you guys, you get this real fear that you're never going to find a love like this again or a connection like this again. This will never be able to be replaced. But again, you're just confirming fear and scarcity mindset when you have that outlook. And this collective, for the right collective, what adds to the emotional storm and the fears, the turmoil, is you reflecting on the deep bond that you had, clearly feeling like it's never going to be able to, you're never going to be able to find that again, which makes you excuse bad behavior. Again, I feel this collective, it's something about you keep holding on to this past version that clearly it was a magical bond. Otherwise you wouldn't be seeing them like this. But every time you guys just hold past version, no matter how many times after the fact they present X, Y, and Z too full of themselves, rejecting you, starting arguments, creating emotional storm, you're excusing it because you're just holding on to that seed. But what if it is? What if they can change? But first you need to see the change, right? This one's sad because I can genuinely feel the aching love here. Past life. Oh, because you daydream, you can't get it out of your mind right now. The right collective, daydreaming, imagining, fantasizing. See the lessons. Stop entering this period of deja vu and repeating the same cycle, because it doesn't matter if this is true divine or not. This collective, they're bound to your contract. Let it be a karmic, whatever it may be. Until the lesson is learned, it's going to keep orbiting the same way. I've read true divines that have been on this journey for decades. You don't want to be in that category. It's painful. So the attraction to them as well. But I think underneath this divine masculine, you know what? It's actually very beautiful that this has come out. Their charm, their kind heart. And I think this is what does your head in. It's funny, when you guys truly meet your... I'm saying this for a reason, for this collective to tie you to it. I find a lot of people that when you first meet your divine, especially if you're a female vessel, right? And you were the one that activated into your divine feminine energy first. So your high priestess oracle, the spiritual connection, tapping into the depth of emotion, the kindness, compassion, just the divine feminine leads this journey with emotion and sight and spiritual connection. Now, if you in this dynamic, when you met this person, because for the right collective, when you think of them, you think of their kind heart, you think of their gentleness, you think of their sensitivity. And this was something that this person, I always say, people that come into our life is to make us self-aware of the qualities we have that we need to heal, qualities that you may have an extreme, they may have a real low, what's the word? Whatever the word is, you're meant to bring those extreme highs and lows into balance with one another, but also qualities we inspire to be. And I find a lot of people that activate in the divine feminine energy first, you actually have a pattern of wounded masculine energy, right? You've hardened your heart through life. All of that empathy, all of those beautiful qualities that were unfortunately tarnished through your upbringing and life, the trauma of life that completely hardened your armor, your fortress. I always talk about shadow work, and our shadow starts from 3-4 years old. People that truly activate to this divine journey, you've had a life full of trauma, and whoever normally activates in that feminine energy, the person you draw in, that is your divine masculine, they normally come in as the wounded feminine, right? You're the wounded masculine. It's like the roles shift. The inspiration you find from their kind heart, they're the one normally, and again, this is just general, but it's coming up for this collective for a reason, which makes me think this was your dynamic. They made you find your gentleness again. They made you find your kindness. There was something about their sensitivity to the world, the people around them. Maybe they used to teach you manners, or when you were being a bit abrupt, they would calm you down. They would just show you that beautiful, emotional, sensitive self. Maybe they cried a lot. Whatever the case, I genuinely think this collective, it wasn't just the strength that they had to conquer you and the confidence. There was something about their gentleness. There was something about the way they saw people in the world that it created inspiration in the soul. And when this all happened, it's like that was just something that you could not forget about this person, right? And it makes sense with why, unfortunately, now when they present too full of themselves, it just doesn't make sense to you, because you're not used to, or you weren't used to, seeing that side of them. For the right collective, it wasn't just their strength, it was their gentleness. It was the way they were connected to emotion that for you, I think it just creates such a question mark. And you would have had moments of thinking, is this even real? Were they just a narcissist? Were they a love bomber? Was this who they truly were? I feel this collective, it's like you can't help but hold on to those memories of who this person was at the core when you saw them, right? When you were with them, you saw their divine soul. And this would make sense with why you feel exhausted and the emotional storm with this rejection. This rejection is about abandonment, dismiss, putting you in irrational fears. And I think when you guys were in your connection, maybe they were the one that would always try and fix things. They, you know, I feel this person, when you guys were together, as for feeling dismissed and abandoned, I feel this person would work overtime trying to put calm in your connection, right? But it's like when this person chose to walk away, that was it, and it confused you. But again, this journey, especially twin flames, you guys find each other as broken souls. I always say it's not about coming into alignment with your twin flame trigger central, but both of you through your individual healing journeys to find your divine selves. Again, amplifying all your triggers from your trauma to start amplifying your greatness. And this is why I say focus on internal healing, focus on your birthright. true divines, it's not just about your twin flame journey. You guys have a divine mission for this world. True divines, you're here to heal this world, one soul at a time. If you haven't activated your dharma, your blueprint, your path, your abundant timeline, and you're just sitting there, oh my God, when they're going to come back, when are they going to come? There's a little bit of tweaking that needs to be done internally. I always say, true divines, when your separation happens, you don't just have the 4D activation of your reconciliation, but what you were born to do in this world. There's a reason I'm saying that for this collective. Just remember, this journey starts with self. Until you are in union with self, you're prolonging this. Where your confusion is, but like I said before, influence or not, it shouldn't get you to a point of exhaustion. There's something about veils. There's clearly something here in your own shadow self. That shouldn't be an excuse why they're treating you the way they're treating you. So don't make it an excuse in your mind. Oh, it's because of this person or that, but it doesn't matter. It's happening, right? Accept it. Especially if it's getting you to a place of exhaustion because it's just not making sense in your mind. You clearly had a very, very beautiful connection. I'm not trying to say that you didn't, but you can see the lessons that are lingering around your dynamic. And it's sad because I feel this collective, you find the strength in silence, but yet then you get to this trigger because the cosmos are putting this cosmic trigger in you right now. There's something activating in your contract, which I will check. And it clearly happens every time just before this person pops up, and then you lose your voice and you lose your strength to put up boundaries and choose self. It's like you just want to see that version again. But I always tell true divines, you'll know when it's time, because that true version that you fell in love with, it appears again. And until it appears again, the universe will keep releasing this person. But just however your cycle and your layer is, that's how they keep releasing them. The dry, the stale, the sexual, however it is. And you guys constantly fall short. Because you think, but maybe this is the time, right? Not if they keep approaching exactly the same. It's a lesson. This is also why I say not every point of communication means they're coming back, we're going to reconcile. What lesson do I need to learn from this? And especially outside of the box, right? Because you've got mirror, this collective, with your hammer, your cycles. Just say to yourself, because right now you can see it. You're not in the point of seeing self just yet and what you truly deserve. There's so much emotional dependence on this person and what may be. That in itself, if you're feeling like this just before they pop up, you're not ready. You're still looking at this person as completing you. Instead of understanding you complete yourself. This person, just a magical topping in my life, if it is meant to be. When people look at companionship as completion, you guys become highly critical lovers because subconsciously you are dependent on that person making you happy because you haven't found your own happiness in times of independence, not loneliness, independence. Haven't learnt to love, appreciate self and life without companionship. So when companionship comes in and you are feeling like you're feeling happy and complete again, as soon as that person starts doing things that make you feel unhappy or activate the fear of this person's going to run, this isn't going to last, this is too good to be true, you guys start to become very critical lovers. You notice everything. Remember, this person is not going to just take your pain away by being by your side. And this is why shadow work, understanding who you are at the core, understanding what it is about your trauma that makes you crave this rejection, this emotional storm. What is it about self? Because right now you feel safer in chaos. You feel safer you feel safer in emotion that exhausts you, confuses you, rejects you, makes you feel conflict, makes you feel sorrow, and makes you feel a storm. You may feel this makes you feel terrible, but that's what you want. No, but they're my past life, they're my divine masculine. It's just being influenced by others. This bond cannot be replaced. I've never found emotional intimacy with anyone like I have this person, even though they make me feel bah, 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 bah. That's your trauma. That's your trauma. You still haven't healed that version that makes you thrive in chaos. Not makes you feel like shit from a young age. Clearly this collective, you grew up in an environment. As kids, we're sponges. We get accustomed to our environment, right? This journey is to make you heal that version that was lost before life created comfort in chaos, right? Now, this is why you guys say, no, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing. But when the actual triggers come up that you need to heal through, and ask yourself why, motion outside of the box. Why do I think this person is my everything? Why do I keep daydreaming and fantasizing about our future when this is all I feel in their presence? Take the label away from it. It's nothing to do with soul connection, even if it truly is divine. Until you heal this and understand that is not what true love is, you're on pause. Don't use the divine label as a band-aid for what really needs to be reflected on. Learn to thrive in stability, stillness. Don't welcome chaos anymore, because this means you still love obsessive love. You still love codependent love. You love highly validating love. You love the love that goes 0 to 100. You love the intensity. But those kinds of love always end up like this. Always. Might feel safe for, if you're lucky, for a year. But it just gradually gets worse and more chaotic as time goes on. There's a reason I'm saying this for this collective. I'm about to get your soul contract. I can feel it. You've got something coming that needs to be dealt with differently. And it's going to be hard. It's uncomfortable. It's really hard to break a cycle. People think it's easy. No, it's hard. It's been bound to you life after life. It's not easy to choose self if that's a trauma of yours. You choose what is not good for you for the sake of attachment, companionship, external gain. That normally comes from abandonment. And it's one of the hardest traumas to heal. I'm going to get this soul contract, then we're going to see this person, how they're feeling, and what's coming next here. All right. See what's activating in your contract, what you need to learn from one another. That's good. Very good. Okay, first card. Oh, those two together, perfect. It's a soul contract to teach you to trust and allow trust in divine timing. So to learn, it's not your ego's timing, it's divine's timing, to surrender to the divine, which true divines, you hate to hear it at the start. One of the most important spiritual lessons, patience. And I will say this, it's coming to my mind, and true divines, you would know this, because every time there's a cycle that repeats, you ascend and you rebirth every time. And the lessons get easier to see as the cycles go on, but you get to a point where you're like, oh my God, how did I think I was ready? Like, look at how triggering this was. Instead of, you start to really believe it's the divine supporting you, because through the triggered conversations, through the triggered communication, you start to realize, holy shit, I still have a lot to work on, right? There's a reason this is coming out for this collective. Maybe you've had a moment of thinking of this. Remember that, because right now you're in like heart fog, but it's happening for a reason. So your contract, you were meant to activate your prime element, source's energy, your soul spark, understanding timeless energy and binding force of contract and life, but to metamorphose, to be open, to embrace change, evolution of the soul, rising up, reinventing yourself. So both of you, and there's a reason I brought up your divine mission. True divines, this is a big key. It's not just activation of self, and I ask this a lot in personal readings. I say, okay, yes, you've seen your reconciliation, but what else did you see when you activated? What did you see about self? And if people don't have an answer and they're still in the rat race and everything else they're still going, it's an answer, right? This right collective, this made you reinvent yourself. You're a brand new person. You would have changed career. You would have done everything. You would have aligned to your birthright. You are truly connected to the divine. But I just think when it comes to acceleration and impatience, when that comes over you, you're still in the midst of learning that lesson. Perfect to break free from the belief system from 3-4 years old, through parenting, the government's hierarchy, patriarchy, all the things we're programmed to believe from a very young, vulnerable age, our environment. You're meant to break free from that. And you were meant to learn to transition from loneliness to independence. We said it before. This collective, I don't think you're completely here with this just yet. 19th of the 6th, 23rd. Chariot, forward movement in life. Your willpower, your mental discipline. To really align to path and success. It was to move you forward. So before you met this person, you would have been stuck. 85% of the population. Now, actually feel this collective, you truly could be divine. Especially with these three. It's meant to change within your mind. It was meant to make you see the world differently. It's funny, this says 1 to 3 months. I'm hearing this. You could be, because I say, you guys, true divines, you have cycles. It's like they come in around the same time all the time. Maybe your cycles are that 1 to 3 month mark where this stuff starts to repeat. I'm hearing that specifically. I never hear that with this card. To fight, you're a witchy poo. You got my witchy poo card. To tap into your magic, your alchemy. So through every fire they give you, you grow. You grow. You'd have witch's blood. This would have cracked open in you when you met this person. It would have started simmering. Through all the times you were fusing. And then when this separation happened, your mind would have just gone with your magic. Don't make it fit. It's powerful. Okay, metamorphose. Oh, that's Emperor and Empress energy. Beautiful. Not just to be divine, masculine, feminine of the earthly plane, but transition, high priestess, hierophant to the spiritual plane. Oh, I love it. You got 2 cards of alchemy on your spread, but you got the fine wine developing. So you guys are still cracking open. You're still reinventing, going through metamorphoses. This is a good card. 23rd of April could be an important day. Developing over time, finessing the good stuff, alchemy, transforming, ripening, aging well. Slow and steady wins the race. So your true metamorphosis into the golden butterfly, it was meant to take time. And healing takes time. I say this for people, I'm being called to say this for this collective. Let's say you only activated, let's say 5 years ago, right? You're only 5 years old. You're having to relearn life. You're having to relearn to parent yourself from shadow self that starts 3-4 years old. The belief system that you're breaking free from. You guys need to be patient with yourself. Healing takes time. It takes multiple fires. It takes walking through the same trigger time and time until you phoenix and you finally have enough. Embrace the moments of your triggers being amplified, because it's triggering to amplify your greatness. You've got 2 cards of alchemy. Without the pain, without the emotional storm, you wouldn't be alchemizing the life and the person that you are. It's part of your power, right? Trust. Don't have dependence on the outcome. Let the outcome go and believe in divine timing. Truly believe, and this collective, you would say it all the time, you're a magical being. You would understand what's meant to be will never pass you by. But you have to believe it. Don't just say it, believe it, and surrender the rest. Keep growing. It was always destined to be a very slow journey. So accept it. And just keep focusing on those healthier choices, all of these, right? That love for self. You don't need to make sense of this journey. I always say, and I see this so much, and you all go through phases. True divines, you all go through the phases of obsession and the lulu, the up, like you all go through the same phases. But you all hit this moment, and it's just before you're about to really break a cycle for good, where you genuinely think that this person, they don't come in for reconciliation. You were never on the twin flame divine journey. Rubbish. You guys make your journey valid with how you change through life, how you start healing the world around you, even if it's one soul at a time. Your beautiful activation within. It's no bigger miracle. You're breaking free from the confirmation of the 85% that are just robots to this world. From the hierarchy, the governments, the institutions, the world leaders, things that have been programmed for us to believe. You see the magic. It's that unicorn energy. Start to believe, just because I can't see certain things, aka reconciliation time, doesn't mean it's not real. I live in magic all day, every day. You make your journey valid. You have to break free from thinking this one person makes this whole thing legit. That's not the case. Believe in your journey. Believe in yourself. In every other dimension, you are one. You are one. Your higher selves are connected to one, right? You have a timeline. Everything you're learning, that's what your threads are for. When you don't believe, or when you're in fear, and when you think you're delusional, and when you're this, if you're true, they feel all of it on acceleration. Truly times a gazillion, because they have the veil of avoidance. They have to learn to activate their divine masculine flame in life. They need to learn how to lead, achieve, accomplish. You guys, let go of that masculine energy, trying to fix, know what time, no, focus on your feminine grace when it comes to your emotion. The only place your masculine energy should really come is when it comes to your path of abundance and success, right? You need to have that balance of yin and yang, yes. Balance of spirituality, practicality, the logic of the masculine. But when it comes to this journey, you guys tend to still hold on to the masculine energy. How are you giving them the flame? Just focus on self. Take their face away. If you truly believe you're on this journey, you need to believe you are one. by just focusing on you and your mirror. It's impacting them the same way. Stop seeking outside of yourself. Stop focusing on external self person. Just focus on you. Everyone will swear black and blue, they're a twin, they're a divine, but they just can't let it go and focus on self. That's what brings it in. Your mirror comes first. It gives them the strength to break free from what they need to break free from in life too, because they start focusing on self and their greatness. So surrender to divine timing when it comes to communication, making contact. Let them deliver when it needs to be delivered, not your ego's timing, divine timing. But also I'm hearing theme of this, when it comes in and it's exactly the same and it's dry, because you have to break free and see yourself first. Surrender your story to the divine. You guys don't need to communicate or even write back when it doesn't feel right. It's like you guys feel you have to over explain yourself, or you have to be overly nice, or you have to. No, if it's not right, if it's not aligning with you, if you don't feel appreciated, you're still feeling rejected, whatever it is, surrender it to the divine. Especially if that is a shadow, a trauma trait of yours. You have to over explain, you have to have the last word, you just want to feel understood. That's something you need to heal. So it's going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to make you uncomfortable at choosing silence. And then after it, you're going to think, oh, maybe I should. You've got to fight the old belief system, break free from it. This collective, anytime it comes to communication in your contract, it is literally being governed by up above. And I say this for true divines. It's not like a karmic. It can't be manipulated with words. When your veils get removed, it's divine, and it all comes from energy. Not what you're saying, not what this, how you're shining. Are you in union energy or are you in separation energy? You guys don't break free from separation energy until you focus on itself. You guys keep going outside of yourself. Them coming back, when are they going to do? That is separation energy that's oozing out of you, right? Come into one, come into sovereignty, come into center of being. They guide your communication for this collective. It's not your ego's timing, it's divine's timing. This middle row, this belief system, you keep falling back into it, this collective, I can see. You need to heal from that beautiful version that was lost from a young age. Yeah, expect the unexpected. So when you don't expect it, this is when it's going to come in, right? So when you're internal and when you're not focusing on it, it's part of your contract. So until you really break free from this, trying the time, this and that, because it's part of your shadow, right? Until you heal that in yourself, it's destined for this to come in when you've truly detached, when you're not expecting it. When you're not expecting it. Just remember that. So every time you're expecting it and sitting, and we said it in this part, you can see already, even if this is about to knock on your door, it's just another lesson, because you're just so consumed by it. Watch the whole thing. Chariot. You will get there. Overcoming these barriers, communication, connecting again, harmonizing, compromise, overcoming the barriers. With the Chariot, you will get there. But you just need to surrender. You're a hidden gem. So this activated you out of your darkness, out of your clouds. But maybe part of your contract. And I see this a lot for divines. They get really scared with your magic. Your magic creates misunderstandings. A lot of the time they think you're affecting their energy with your magic. This is part of your contract. So one, I think it was meant to activate your sight, but I think this is misunderstandings, confusion, things that have created problems and doubts and hesitation. But that's who you are. So they need to accept you at the core, just how you need to accept them at a core. If they can't handle your magic, it's because, we talk about it all the time, they're running away from their Hierophant, High Priestess. They're running away from their magic. So your magic triggers them. They don't want to accept it. I always say this, I think you guys are the devil. Like, until they awaken, until they go through their journey and experience what you've experienced, I always say there's no hope. They put you in the crazy basket. I say they're 6 to 9 months behind you, but until you surrender your 3D expectation, they don't activate their 5D realization, what you guys went through. They can't be scared of your magic. They should be enthralled by it because they have it within them too, right? One more. The compass. Rebirth was meant to rebirth you both into your psychic abilities, diving deep into your healing, changing your perception of the world, to find your passions, right? To create determination, to succeed for self. One more. Heart. Activate your heart space the right way. Love, romance, joy, bliss, heart's desires, forgiveness. Through kindness, passion, caring, fulfillment. When it's time. Okay, I want one more. How are we going to get into this person? The unexpected ending, the reckoning. Have you broken the cycle? Have you broken the cycle? Sudden, unexpected, ripping off the band-aid, the reckoning, to create the right surprise. But also getting to the point you're seeing this is over. No second chances. I'm choosing to be happy. It needs to solidify in you. It will come. Again, you guys all go through the same phases. All of you guys. May feel like you don't get there, you won't get there, but you do. As soon as you really start choosing self and understanding your true trauma, why you accept the things you accept, take away the label. When you really focus on getting to the nitty-gritties of that, and you want better for self, you'll see right through that mask. I say it all the time. You know when you're really healing, because the people that used to align with you in the past, you see right through. And you're like, oh my God, how did I ever accept that shit, right? When they appear with their mask, you no longer get triggered. You feel sorry for them. You see right through it. You see a broken child. Doesn't affect you. So instead of fighting shadow for shadow, them coming up pretending to be X, Y, and Z, you getting triggered by it, you start to realize they're vulnerable. Because that's why shadow comes up when we're vulnerable. We don't know how to deal with what we're feeling. It's our defense mechanism, right? But you guys, every time they're wearing their defense mechanism around, you're taking it personally, and then it's triggering you because you feel so hurt about everything. So they're like this, and you're not feeling heard, so then you get triggered into your defense, and then you're fighting shadow with shadow. Instead of them coming in with this mask and you seeing, oh God, I must really affect you. My energy must be very intimidating for you, because look at the mask you wear around me, and that's a mask I ain't dealing with no more, right? You find strength in it. You find empowerment in it. You see right through it. All right, let's get their perspective. We're going to start with these. Their true intention, apparently. Oh. That's good, and it flicked on me. So they are going through healing. Beautiful. Inner child healing. You got it. Those two together, 3 cards, and okay, this is good. You got the twinny card. So they know the power of the bond here. So this person would be activated. with inner child healing. So whatever this last point was, that's good. I always say you can't have a divine counterpart with one divine being. Number 7, number 24, and number 23. These could be important like dates. 24th of the 7th, 23rd of the 7th. I miss the family we created, or the family that could have been. I realize I made a mistake by walking away from my happiness. You are my life partner, my other half, my confidant. I am also hearing for this collective, because a big part for you is influences. I'm also feeling family could have been an issue here. So beautiful blurb, but I also think they're reflecting on family dynamics. This twin flame, I recognize our connection was intense and it still burns my soul. But the thing is, I felt it when I was reading you. As soon as we got your soul contract part, you can feel the pull with you guys. That's not the issue. I think that to really accept the intensity now instead of avoiding it. This maybe in the past was more of the false flame, right? Why is this so triggering? This can't be. This is just toxic. This is another reason I say your veils need to shift. The cycle needs to be broken. You need to understand that avoidance energy. You guys crave it. When the veils finally shift and you've had enough, it's not that you don't feel them anymore, but just how we've been describing your part, it doesn't make sense to you. Why would I want that? It's chaotic, it's toxic, it's whatever the case may be. And this collective, you're clearly on the verge of starting to choose self, especially if they're really knuckling in to their inner healing now. It's not so much you're just going to accept everything like you used to in the past. You really must be transitioning into that love for self, the self-indulgence, the healthier choices. So, for this person to finally understand this, but no, there's things that they need to heal, not just blaming you for all the chaos. You guys are going through a transition, which is beautiful. I have made and used excuses in order to control or sabotage our connection, but now I realize the only way to heal, mend, acknowledge. But now I realize the only way to heal is to mend, acknowledge, and forgive my past. You guys are going through the same thing. It makes sense why I was speaking the way I was speaking. Like I said, until you surrender the 3D expectation of reconciliation that this person makes your journey valid, they don't activate the 5D realization, which they're finally going through, right? Keep focusing on self. These are 3 very good cards. And this makes sense with why they would be reflecting on family things here. Maybe starting to realize a lot of the way I move through life has been bound to me from a young age because of my environment. So the more you focus on your Eiffel Tower energy, breaking free from what has kept you shackled, what's happening to them? Family ties. Attached, so there is. So the karmic attachment here, so the influences, watch from the beginning, family. So this is about attachment, but I think for this there could actually be a certain third-party attachment, but I think for this collective it's more family grievances. I am connected to karmic, I don't want to say partners, karmic situations due to my responsibilities, maybe even as well. Maybe some of they could work with family members that have issues about your dynamic, so they're still a little bit bound to the external financial gain of this world, especially if they are working for more financial responsibilities with an actual family member. And I say true divines, you have karmic interference long before you even arrive, but there's normally a pivotal karmic person that is a true interference in your separation, right? They're bound to your cycles. So whoever this person is, the right collective, someone should have just come to your mind straight away. Don't make it fit. It's like they're still attached to this person because of responsibilities, which makes them come in and out, which is something they need to deal with, right? I want to face my issues head on and work through these things before I return. I know it's not easy, but I'm trying my best. Is it completely that, oh, I know it's not easy, I'm trying my best? I think they've got it underneath a microscope right now. Why am I choosing this? This is making me miserable, especially if it's to do with finances, right? can get a job doing anything, but people get this fear. They get stuck in comfort and complacency, which makes them run. So you're right, your first part, but it doesn't matter. So the influences, the confusion because of the rejection, you know why it's happening, but it doesn't matter. That needs to be healed on their end, because right now their intention when they think of you, and it shows how soully connected you are, because you know it. But this is what sends the confusion, and you probably think, but I would never do that if I love someone. Don't overgeneralize. People deal with trauma differently, right? Just because you may not do it doesn't mean that's not a lesson they need to learn. What if that's a lesson in their shadow self? They miss out from really good things because they live their life through other people's lenses, right? Or they seek outside admiration and acceptance. What if they're enmeshed in their family? That's an actual thing, but that's a lesson they need to learn, right? So you may not have the same lesson on your path, but they might. So yes, this attachment and influences is what puts their running boots on. And they're starting to realize it, but they need to overcome it. And this is why you need to surrender to the divine and trust the divine. They're protecting you. Until that's healed, whatever broke you apart in the past, if it's not healed, you're going to repeat it. That's something that at least they're in the midst of realizing, right? But now you need to just give it time and let it unfold. Just because it's happening energetically and you can't see it, it's not happening in the room that you're in. This collective, you can feel it, but feel it and let it go. You literally, your part here, you're an alchemist, you're a witchy poo, you're completely magical. Trust in your magic, not your overthinking mind. Number 49. Twin flame. Oh my God! Good. So they are acquiring knowledge with inner child healing. So I say this, and this is another reason they need to activate. When you guys first activate, and you see this all the time, what aligns to soul and what doesn't. You see it on social media. Some people you're enthralled by. Other people you like just breeze through. Other people you can't, because they don't resonate with your frequency. When you guys first activate to that divine feminine energy, the knowledge that comes to you guys, the signs, the synchronicities, the twin flame knowledge, all of this stuff, it bombards you because you're open to the frequency of learning, right? Until they're open to the frequency of learning, they don't notice shit. They push it away. They're not taking time to learn. This collective, when it comes to the twin flame journey, they're finally acquiring knowledge. They're learning about it. It's opening them up. Just how you guys, you started learning, it opened you up. You started getting more, right? It's happening. Trust. Your biggest thing, and it makes sense with that Eiffel Tower, keep breaking free from the belief system that you're conformed to. You are a divine. But every time you have fear, it's society's expectation. Oh, but if they wanted to, they would. Or if they this, they that. That's what you're breaking free from. You do not think like the rest. I always say you guys are 5% of the population. And not even all 5%. We've got the divines, you guys, which are about 1%. You've got the earth angels. You've got the light warriors. Like there's all different people that are activated. You all have a different mission for this world, right? Stop falling back into what you're breaking free from. You're not meant to think like other people in society. You're meant to teach society different. And true divines, your mission here is love, right? Let go of the attachment, because all it does is build resentment because you are holding on to time. Let it go. Let it go. This magical pairing, because it literally shows through the knowledge they're learning about this, what's happening. They're healing through it. Just how you guys started healing through it. Believe. Just because you can't see it, unicorn energy, doesn't mean it's not real. Focus on self. Remember what I said in that part. True divines, you are one. You share a higher self. You are one. So the more you just focus on you and put yourself first, the same happens for them. Take their face away from it. It doesn't matter. Stop seeing this twin flame journey so surface 3D, because that's the point they're at. Thinking that this whole journey is just going to be like, that's not what it's about, right? Watch the whole thing. Our connection was very intense and confusing, but I'm trying to understand our undeniable bond by learning You were brought to me to teach me things and to bring awareness to my own existence. And that's what they did to you. They taught you things and brought awareness to who you were born to be. So not just the activation of your story, 4D outcome, but what you were born to do and achieve. The right collective, it literally activated your magical blood. Surrender. Number 18. It's very good. And this is good here because it's one of your biggest blocks, which they're sitting in. Their understanding. Has it been changed yet? It's on its way. But this runner, that, remember, veils need to shift. What are they healing? The gluttonous, always listening to other people. So that's their lesson in life, not your lesson. That's probably why you can't understand it, because it's something you would not do. But that's their lesson underneath healing. It doesn't make sense to you. Don't overgeneralize. People do not think like you. I'm an idiot. I spoke about our connection if it was trivial. I didn't respect the sanctity of our connection. Instead of keeping things between you and me, I allowed others to interfere. But it's a pattern for them in life. They have something good. Maybe they manipulate the truth a little bit. They involve other people. Then they listen to other people's opinions instead of listening to themselves. They could be a bit of a people pleaser, but not even know this about themselves. Or if they are literally enmeshed in their family, that's a lesson they need to learn. But through their inner child healing, this is a very good row. Right? Again, you may not understand it. Like they may not understand some of your blocks you need to get through. Time. One more. See, halfway. It's maybe leaning towards the end. I don't think they're there yet. This collective, you can't get past. When this gets released, expect the unexpected. You're still expecting it. So even though their intention's beautiful, even though it's starting to evolve, even though it's starting to simmer, remember, you got the sword of truth. So whatever's coming, clarity, revelation, you need to stand in your power. There's something here, you're not completely there. So even though this is beautiful, soft and gentle, this may give you at least enough energy to break the cycle, not be blah, and just let it be. Remember your part. Divine timing with communication. If it just needs to be let go through silence, let it go through silence. Don't over-explain yourself. Whatever happened here in your last point, it clearly started activating something. So it's like you're halfway broken a cycle. Let's completely break it to get those veils completely shifted, right? Regret. They regret this. Clearly whatever happened here last time, it hit them differently. But they're clearly still choosing silence, right? Because they're not completely there yet. They're still making sense of everything. But at least now they're starting to understand this connection. That's your first step. One more. But they're still bound to, and free will, I say this to you guys all the time, you have your destined timeline, but through choices, free will, it can prolong the destination, right? And I do think this person, it's really sad because they clearly don't see life completely clearly, because they don't like to feel bound by other people's decisions and telling them what to do. They like their free will, but they clearly do it when it comes to family, friendship, advice. So they think that they think for themselves. They think that they're in control of their life, but they live their life through other people's lenses. And this is probably why it's a trigger point, because they're self-unaware about it. So if you were claiming, or you know, a little bit codependent, that would have triggered them, because in other areas in their life they're caged, but they haven't taken realization for it. So this person, this would be a trigger point for them. Anyone trying to tell them what to do, they'd be rebellious because they've dealt with it their whole life, right? But they're still blinded. Well, they're transitioning, but they're still blinded to how much people control them, right? But you were meant to teach them the lesson to break free from it. So any kind of control you tried to put on this person, their eyes would have been wide open, and it would have been a trigger point, because it's part of your soul contract to heal each other through these turbulent things that have been bound to you. Right, collective, you'll know what I'm saying. but they're still semi not seeing it. Because I think that's what scares them. They would have lost themselves in you. They would have, remember what we said at the start, this person with that, how sensitive and kind, they would have done everything for you. This collective, probably what kept them away is literally that. They didn't want to lose themselves again. They could have felt unappreciated by you and all the effort they were putting in. It's the reason I'm saying this. For this collective, you haven't had that clear, transparent communication. So you guys are just off the same page emotionally. You can't help how they feel and what their perspective is. We talk about perspective all the time and perception. If you've got your truth, they've got their truth. You can't change someone's truth through words. It comes through action and change, right? I just feel right now your perspectives aren't, they're not on the page enough for compromise just yet, but it's brewing, right? Beautiful. Okay. I want to get these. I haven't used these for a while. I'm being called to get these. There you go. So they know this is good. I let my pride and ego get in the way of our connection. So they're starting to understand their own mask. Beautiful. How they help third party, so it's coming out in every deck. So they know, but how they held back. I should have expressed myself better. So this is why they would be reflecting on their ego. Why? Because of the lack of right expression, the interference, how other people's opinions interfere, third party interference. There were other things that got in the way of us being together, but they're starting to realize it. Slow and steady wins the race. At least the main points from the beginning, this collective, what creates the exhaustion, the confusion, they're finally breaking free from. So when they're thinking about collective, it is on their mind. They're not silly. They're not silly. I just don't think they're completely seeing it correctly just yet. Secrets. So they haven't told you certain things. This collective, you know it, but it's on their mind. So they know they need to be honest. And again, like I said before, you'll know when it's time. They'll come in the right way. At least right now, their reflection, when they think of you, they know what went wrong, right? So if they come in not expressing these things, surrender it. Because it's brewing. It's brewing. So if they're trying to cover it, they're still wearing a mask. They're still veiled. There's no point going back and forth tit for tat. How they ghosted you. Wouldn't surprise me if you're in that dynamic, part of your layer, the ghosting, the blocking. I'm sorry I disappeared. I needed to get away and clear my mind. So remember when the runner came out and I said, what did I say? There's been silence, but they're clearly reflecting. Maybe that's what's doing your head in. You guys had some form of chaos and they didn't address it, which is making you question, do they feel the same? Do they they're dealing with it how they know how to deal with it, right? I know silence is uncomfortable, but you don't know what's going on in the rooms you're not in, especially when it comes to divines, your veils. They clearly need to heal this in themselves. When they get backed in a corner, when they're too vulnerable, they're clearly someone that cuts themselves off from the world. That's something that they need to heal through. Like we were explaining with this. You may not understand it because you may not move that way. People deal with trauma differently. There you go. Focused on money. That is part of their responsibilities right now. But remember when we were explaining it, I said external attachment for finances, but they're starting to reflect on it, which is really good. So they know their ego. There's something about this person putting money and status over this collective, but they're starting to get it. And I think this collective, it's something to do with family. They really could work with a family member, or there's something here. I wouldn't have said it otherwise. Don't make it fit. Okay, holding back from this reunion. So last point, they maybe had more of intention for this, but unfortunately it was still veiled. So even though they wanted this, they approached you with the mask. You weren't healed enough, so you were triggered through their mask and your mask came up, right? Your shadow self. This is why trust in divine timing, not ego's timing. The divine tries to show you by them, each other, amplifying each other's triggers, what still needs to be worked on. Reunion. We will always come back together. They're hoping. Third party. Unexpected outcome. So they really could have been, maybe in the midst of you guys communicating this last point, they were still involving the same karmics that interfered the first time. And once again, because cycles repeat, the same karmic energy that affected this initially, it happened again. But maybe this is what made them start breaking free and understanding, I've got to stop involving this person. Things didn't go the way I planned because of a third party. So let's just say they were showing this person messages or whatever. It was the opinions of this person that made them, I think, ghost. There's actually, I can't let you go. Well, we know that. I was selfish and stuck in my ego. Whatever they're starting to learn from this twin flame journey, it is like, this is good reflection. This is good. It's not just I miss you and this. There's a lot of things about going within and accountability for actions. I'm afraid that I've lost you forever. So you both have a fear over this, which is accelerating it in both of you. They know this last point was a big muck up. I hate seeing you with them, so maybe there's someone in your life that they get triggered by, or this is important because there's a big third party interference on their end, so there would be one in their eyes on your end. I hate seeing you with them. I want to make you happy. I miss your smile. So this person would have really, there would have been something about your smile that they, every time my phone rings, I hope it's you. I do think this person would be checking their phone, even if they did ghost or block. Ugh. Maybe they thought you would chase them. Especially if that's a pattern, and you would, even if they ghosted or blocked, you would find a way to contact them. The one card I wanted to see, it's not coming. I don't want to be toxic anymore. I want to hold you. Let's just get one more. I can't go another day without you. This collective, you've got something coming, but I'm still sticking to it's not time. I think you're halfway breaking a cycle. I'm going to get tarot after we finish with them. I need to tell you the truth. So this secrets is really, it's playing on their mind. I'm going to get one more and then we're going to, oh, that's too many. We'll get the bottom one though. I regret what I did to you. They had regret before as well. The card I was seeing, there's a card in here that says, it's something like, what does it say? Hold on, let's try one more. No, it's not coming out. I'm holding on to the memories of us. Maybe not so much to that extreme. It's something like, I let them manipulate me into ghosting you or something. That's the card. It's something like that. That's what I was seeing. That's why I wanted to get this deck. I don't think they were manipulated into ghosting you, but I do think there was opinions here, especially with this one. Okay, secrets. Yeah, attached. It's past people. It's past people. It's a huge this says attached to my ex, but the pattern for this collective, part of this secrets is a third party interference, and I'm assuming it's a family member or a childhood friendship. It could be an ex though, but from the theme of this, I think it's more because it's a pattern in your cycles. This says, I'm attached to my ex emotionally, physically, or spiritually. I needed space to break free from this connection. But again, intuitively, I feel it's more family for this collective. But they're dreaming of you right now, and Spirit does this. Spirit makes sure of it. I say it all the time. You know those dreams you have, you wake up, they feel so real, and it just plays on your mind all day. So maybe part of their dream state, they're also dreaming of these interferences as well, which is accelerating some form of guilt and remorse. Ghosted. But they're single. This came out for a reason, because I don't think it's an ex. So if you thought they ghosted you because of an ex, that's not the reason. I genuinely feel it's family. So it could be a situationship, but self-love, that's good. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Self-love, tears, they cry at night. I felt that when we were reading them. I think you're connected to a very sensitive soul. It's on. When it's on, it's on. They'll move forward. Okay, something about your intelligence. Maybe they're acquiring a bit of knowledge through you and you don't even realize. I see you looking good and moving on. I don't care who you're talking to. I'm better. I will compete for you. Right, collective, we said it at the start. They conquered you when their confidence would have drew you in. When they're ready, they'll do it again, right? Just let it unfold. Okay. I'm just going to get a couple of emotion cards, and then we're going to get tarot for how they're going to approach you next. Just advice, how you should approach a situation if you want to, and what the outcome will be. Oh wait, wrong deck. These. Oh, so they're shocked right now. Maybe they have seen something from you online, or shocked at this there's something in their life that's shocking them at the moment. Or maybe if they're shocked and calm, maybe your approach, maybe you were a lot calmer than you have been in the past. I felt there was a progression of energy in your first part, but maybe they were also very shocked, but they put on a mask of being calm. Surprised, unexpected, taken back, didn't see it coming, they're astounded. What exclamation point out of the blue, something very jarring. Relaxed, undisturbed, unworried, anxiety free. I feel that's this collective. Let's get one more for that. But it could be how they were. It's you. Whenever I see this, it's you guys. Protected. I think this is more you. True divines, I always say, your masculines know how protected you are. They get karma, right, for toying with your energy. And remember, this collective, the witchy poo card, there is something about your magical self. This person genuinely thought you were creating problems with your magic in their life. So I always say this, whoever's under your protection cloak, believe it or not, you soften people's karma until they're removed out of your protection cloak. And I think this person was still, in their eyes, getting pretty bad karma. But I think you were softening their fall. I hate this card, but I feel it. I feel there could be insecurities when it comes to you. It's normally the case. They hold you on a pedestal. No one cares. I don't matter. I'm defected. I'm no good. I'm flawed. I'm unwanted. I'm undesired. They did get self-love, so maybe they really need to work on that. They need confidence. Vengeful, wanting karma. That's, as we said it before, this is about wanting karma. I feel they genuinely think, because of your magic energy, the karma they've had, it has come from you. I think they're still breaking free from that. This person needs to accept you at the core. If they think you're that means they would think you're very powerful, that you're bitter, justice wanted, that you're resentful, that you're wanting karma. Because I felt that with this. That's not them. I think that's how it's impacted their life. You've got to remember, shocked is here. Maybe something's happened of recent as well, which has made them think maybe it's come from your energy. One more. Stressed. I will say their other decks seem very nice, but this could be the seed that keeps them away from you still, especially if they really do think that you magically interfere in their energy. They are stressed, but they've got such a focus on third-party interference, family and stuff right now. Maybe something is really falling apart and they think you kind of guided it. I'm going to be honest for this collective. Pressured, burdened, tense, bothered, worried, troubled, feeling really weighed down. You've got to remember they're in the middle of a shock of something. One more. Weak. Whoa. Worn down, empty. They're not strong. They're feeling helpless, vulnerable, like a sitting duck. Something's crumbling in their life right now. So that means they still have a little bit of blame on your energy. See, this is why you need to trust in the divine. And this makes sense. Even though you've got a truth, you need to protect yourself, because they're starting to see and understand this, but they're still holding on to burdens and mistruths about you in the soul. Maybe that was part of the people saying these things about you, especially if you are a practitioner or people know that, you know, you work with that kind of stuff. This could be what some of the influence, the gluttonous gossip was about, right? I feel that's still a seed. I'm glad I got them because I didn't even pick that up in the other cards. So this is part, and it makes sense. Train horn. This makes sense with this part. The clouds and your magic. That needs to be developed in the soul contract. They need to accept it, not be scared of it. Okay. We're going to get tarot. So how they're going to approach your advice. And I'm thinking, do I get a couple of cards to see what they're going through? I might do that, actually. I'm going to do that. So we'll see what's going on and then what's on its way. Hold on a sec. Okay, let's just very quickly, this reading's already gone very long, but let's just see what's going on in their life currently. Okay, King of Cups in reverse, 9 of Wands in reverse, 10 of Wands. Okay, so currently right now, they clearly themselves may be a little bit overly emotional. Could be some form of manipulation. They're either reflecting on within or they definitely feel like is in their life, especially with this. There's a situation they're seeing is very out of control and it's overwhelming them. And I think for the first time, they're starting to realize this isn't worth all the burdens that they're carrying. But let's be real, this person themselves could be reflecting on their emotional unavailability. If they're being reflected back emotions of manipulation or, you know, self-focused, selfish energy, people that aren't really transparent and emotionally available, maybe they're seeing themselves in other people's behavior right now. But this person's definitely at a brink of collapse. So 10 of Wands, there's certain things here that they're getting to the point, they're over it. They're ready to drop these wands, but definitely feeling overwhelmed right now in their life and their surroundings. Queen of Truth Seeker. So they could be in truth-seeking mode. I think Queen of Wands, she's very firm in boundaries. So I think if people are trying to test their boundaries right now, they're standing in strength. But I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling a little bit of collective in this energy here. I want one more for that. Okay. I think things that they've been Two of Swords blinded to. This is a card of withholding. It's about obstacles, stalemate energy, and unclear path. I think they're finally starting to see things a little bit clearer, especially when it comes to this, things that they have been blinded to, things that have created a stalemate energy. So not just with you, but I definitely think they're seeing through things in their life as well right now. Now this collective, there is influence and attachment. So the right collective, as we were describing, that people should have come to your mind so you could know them to be an air sign, even water sign energy here. All right, let's confirm these. I think they're starting to get mental discipline and willpower and strength of mind. I don't want to read that in... Our magician, he really is the creator of universal energy with the strength of his mind and the things he focuses on. Sometimes he reminds me a little bit of that Emperor energy, because he's got a hold of pentacles, emotion, the cups, the wands, and the swords. He's got control of it all, especially internally. And I just think this person, for a long time, maybe the strength of their mind was not their strongest suit, but they've clearly always had it in them. So when it comes to this overly emotional, manipulative, moody, repressed, withdrawn, focusing on their own needs internally or other people, clearly it was taking the strength of their mind away, and they themselves, just like this collective sitting in separation energy and fear, they didn't have a strong mindset. And I feel this person is finally starting to get a clear vision. They're starting to understand what they want in their life, in their reality per se. I think they're starting to get a hold of that beautiful magician's power within. Are they completely there? Probably not. I do think this person, when it comes to focusing and not being easily swayed by others, is something of a life lesson for them, which I do feel through their cards they're starting to learn. I want one more, but it is a card of action as well, and I think they're starting to make the right actions and decisions in life, especially if they're breaking free from the Two of Swords. Like if they have that internal Queen of Swords driving them, you want to hope they're seeing things clearly. One more. Yeah, releasing fear, anxiety, Moon in reverse. So things are being unveiled. They're starting to see through certain people here, even themselves and their own behavior that's created an inadequacy, self-doubt, low self-esteem. And they're working on self-love. So maybe they're starting to understand inner child healing, acquiring knowledge. They've been making decisions from a very broken place. I actually don't mind this first row because I think there's self-accountability, but also seeing through blockages, through people in their life. All right, Nine of Wands in reverse. Oh, that's Five of Swords there. So certain hostility that they're facing, selfishness. All right, they're still in Four of Pentacles here, but maybe this is what they want to break free from. I always say this lacks mindfulness. It's a scarcity mindset. Fear takes over. Again, holding on to things for the wrong reasons. But I do think this person has a tendency to hold back quite a little bit because of scarcity mindset. And again, I do think your person is tied to, unfortunately, certain people because of financial grievances. Now, even with a Four of Pentacles, it's a very frugal save. So even if they've been staying with financial reasons, they're not really making enough money to be comfortable. So if they're choosing financial structure, external attachment, and then keeping themselves in misery, of course they're going to be thinking, this is not worth it. Why am I putting myself in so much stress for peanuts? Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's another theme here. They're starting to, and it is a card of creature of habit, being stuck in complacency, scared to break their comfort zone, right? But all of this Four of Pentacles outlook that they've had and the things they've been holding on because of fear, not seeing things properly, they're like, no, this isn't worth my misery anymore. It's good. I think that's you. As I said, that I feel this, the reason I feel the Magician embodies that, because our Empress and our Emperor, they're all four suits in one. They have a bit of magic of all. But they could have a mother that they're very overwhelmed about. But I do think I'm seeing a bit of this collective in their energy and their focus when they're reflecting on things. And I do think when it comes to this connection, they're over their limit. And another thing I do say with this Ten of Wands, I see this as someone holding so many burdens but soulfully, not letting people in on their grievances. And I think when it comes to your connection, there's clearly opinion. So I think they've hidden the intense emotion when it comes to you. And it's like the way that they feel for you, I don't think many people know in their life. I don't think people know how like how much this pains them with what you guys have been through. But I do also think this person is sick of being burdened by this. They're wanting to find their own, I want to say feminine energy, but they're wanting to find that stillness and that within again. I don't think they want to hold all these burdens. You've got to realize this person's starting to really realize what's holding them back and what's keeping them from the life that they want. And of course you would be a seed here because you're such a focus for them. So when it comes to the burdens of you, you know the energy I'm kind of feeling? I think this person has been scared for so long when it comes to this dynamic that they keep themselves in silence. But I think even when it comes to your connection, they don't want to be burdened by the overthinking. It's kind of like, I just have to bite the bullet. This is either going to go good or it's going to go bad, but I've got to get this nagging emotion away from me, right? So it's like whatever response they may get from you, it's like, hopefully this is making sense. It's making sense in my mind. I just feel for a long time there was fear to approach because of maybe rejection, but it's like they're starting to realize you are one, if not a lot, of these internal burdens that they carry, and they don't want to feel it anymore, right? Hopefully that makes sense. It's making sense in my mind. Okay, this last 10 of Cups. So, and I felt you in this row too. I think they're starting to see, this is literally fairy tale ending, but this card is also about divine love, emotional fulfillment. 10 of Cups is beautiful. It's really everything coming together. And I think everything that they have not seen, everything that they've been blinded to, everything that they've been avoiding, everything that's created stalemate, they're starting to see things clearly. I think there's regret in their energy for decisions. I think there's also regret for choices to what they've been holding on to, but they're finally getting to a point, they're releasing their fear of inadequacy when it comes to you. They're releasing their fear of inadequacy, self-doubt when it comes to financial burdens and needs. And men can get blinded to this, thinking that that real masculine energy means that you need to be making this much money, this. Like they take it all down to how they're financially structured, where I think this person's starting to see better. And especially what I'm feeling, what they are bound to financially, it's not even getting them to where they want to be in life. It's just stressful and not worth it, right? There's something about their self-esteem. There's something about certain weaknesses that they know that they carry, which is making them, again, the inner child here. There's things that they're starting to grow through. These two, I'm seeing so much of you in this energy, but I still, the theme of this reading, I don't think they're completely seeing things the way that they should. I think you still need... I don't think you've completely broken a cycle here. Like this row is beautiful, but what I don't think I explained it right. Like I just feel this person, you are a burden of emotion for them. So for them to be thinking, I just need to say it, if it goes like this or it goes like that, I don't think they're seeing it in a state of them needing compromise and understanding and patience. It's like it's either going to work or it's not, and that's the final chance. Like that's not the right way to see things with the damage that's been done with you guys. Hopefully that's making sense for the right collective. But anyway, let's just get your tarot. Let's get your tarot. So just how they're going to approach you next. Just advice here. And then your potential outcome. Okay. Oh, that's good. I wasn't really expecting that. I'm going to be honest. This is such a beautiful energy. I normally tell you guys to be in this energy. Our Queen of Pentacles, she's so nurturing, understanding, compassionate, caring, elegant. Like she's very sophisticated, right? But she's realistic and she's got her boundaries. That actually would make sense with what I just read for the Empress, 10 of Wands. I do think they're going to come in very kind, right? More gentle, but still a very realistic approach. And I do think they still are going to have boundaries when it comes, I feel they've got like it, oh my God, and you've got 10 of Cups, which they're thinking of now. They want that 10 of Cups. They think they're seeing things clearly with the Queen of Swords, 2 of Swords, finally breaking free, the 10 of Cups. Okay, I've got to try and explain this better because, hold on, what's this with? With 2 of Pentacles, balance, maybe a bit back and forth. Okay. I genuinely think this person is now seeing you as a 10 of Cups, and I genuinely think that they want to fix this. What is alarming me in this person's mind, how I'm feeling this has burdened them for too long. I'm going to roll the dice. They're either going to accept it or they're not. And if they don't accept it, that's it. No more chances. I'm out of here. I've got to move on with my life. That's kind of what I'm feeling. But the thing is, for this dynamic, you guys, it's going to take a lot more than just you guys need to build. You need to come back together. You need to build a foundation. If anything, maybe start off as friends, like where I think they're so kind of black and white in it. And maybe that's where this more realistic in their mind logical approach is taking place. It's like they want to say all this stuff, but if you don't accept it and believe them, then that's it. That's kind of what I'm feeling, right? But even talking to myself, I was saying beautiful intention, but I still don't think they're in complete center of emotion. It's only now they're starting to really understand. And you've been through so much in this dynamic. It's not really fair for this person. Not that they know it. They're not trying to manipulate you. It's their perception. And I always say someone that has a perception, that's their truth right now, right? But this may be a very touchy one to... We'll have to see what your advice is. But the feeling I was getting, you guys still have a bit of work to do. But let's get... Wow, Temperance. So they are wanting to balance this. They're wanting to put tranquility back. They're wanting to harmonize it. But there's a part of them that knows that there needs to be patience. These are really good cards. For their next approach to you, you're going to see something very different to what you've seen. They're wanting balance. They're wanting healing. They're wanting a transformation here. It's just this one that is bothering me a little bit. Let's get one more. Whoa. Strength, courage, brave. These are really good cards. They're going to come in confident. So that strength in reverse is finally going to flip upright. And another card of compassion. I always say she's our female magician, taming the lion, taming the hurricane within. So... this ain't bad. Standing in their power. This card says endgame, so they're definite, and I do believe that with this 10 of Cups. Beautiful intention, not the issue, and I do think it's going to blow you away, but I still am sticking to this shouldn't be rushed, but that's up to you guys. Let's get your advice. Let's get your advice. I might be wrong here. Oh my God, I did it again. So I went to go ask your advice and Emperor and the World came out. I'm hearing a couple things. Remember this reading, I keep hearing you're in between breaking a cycle. So you're in between a world energy. Another theme of this reading is your masculine energy, releasing the masculinity to let this person lead. I think this collective one, when it comes to Emperor energy, you need to make sure, is this igniting chaos? Remember, he thrives in stability. His law and order, his structure. When it comes to chaos, remember a huge part of your reading is how you're still comfortable in chaos. You need to trust your body's emotion and what you're feeling. If this is feeling chaotic, making you anxious, making you overwhelmed, step away. But 2, I am also hearing there is something about you. You can't drive this. You can't push this. You can't be leading with masculine energy, demanding truths or, you know, when are you going to see me? Or you driving the action in this dynamic. They're coming in more of a feminine energy for a reason, because you guys have a lesson here about your feminine, masculine energy, the way you deal with one another, right? I think this collective, when it comes to this internally, that itself needs to be welded out. But 2, I do think you need to kind of keep an eye on how this is making you feel within, okay? I definitely don't think you should lead with Emperor energy, but I do think when it comes to the masculine energy, you do need to be moving with logic, right? And I do think as well, this could be a period to soothe out the chaos. So start building structure, but slowly but surely, but let this person lead with building the structure. It's not about not accepting it, but it's just, remember this world energy, it makes us feel whole, emotionally fulfilled. It's a completion. It's a card of success when we move on from the shit. When we move on from the past, we don't get a world until we've exited past things. So it's not bad. It's not bad. I think you'll be very universally guided when it comes to this situation. But this card specifies karmic lessons. So just make sure you're seeing any repeated lessons here. This isn't bad. Oh, that's wanting to come out. Hermit. That's what I feel. Come from a higher perspective. I do think you're going to have to, if anything, it's not to choose silence, but take it slow, right? You don't need to rush it. This says to be introverted, right? To choose to be alone. I don't think you need to be alone, but I do think you need to be smart. A higher perspective, soul searching. Don't rush anything. I always say, if this came for them, that would be great because they're locking in. I'm on the fence with it. I don't think it should be rushed. But again, these aren't terrible. They're not terrible, but just remember what you've been through. Remember your repeated cycles. Don't repeat the same shit. They're still back and forth in their life with something. There's still something off balance in their energy, and you will feel it, so don't rush it. Find stillness. Don't take the lead here. Let this person lead. Mirror action. What action they show you, you show them, right? Oh, your shadow. That's what I think. Look for karmic lessons. Look for shadow self. If you're in obsession, if you're in fixation, things are going to grip you here. You need to be aware of it because there's something here they're going to show you. Like, this is a beautiful intention, but they're completely where they need to be. And if your mind starts to fixate, tunnel vision, you become off balance, the anxiety, all of that stuff, keep an eye out for. I do think your shadow self's going to come over you, especially when it comes to your yang strength. I think you've become accustomed to lead in life. Watch the whole thing because I made sure to deviate about it with this collective. It's going to come over you. Yes, this person may be coming in with some words and some caring, compassionate things, wanting to balance this. One, I do think they have patience in the back of their mind. So I don't think even if they try and push this forward, they're not ready to just yet. Yes, they're coming in with strength, bravery, and courage, which is probably taking them a lot. But it doesn't mean you just need to put all your boundaries down and make sure there's stability in this. Make sure that there's some form of foundation you can feel before moving forward. I think this could really be the time you properly break a cycle by just choosing self and grace. If this was reversed, that would be amazing. But the fact that they're leading with more feminine and your yang's going to come out, this is something that affected your past cycle. So it's going to be tested here. I think this Hermit is your perfect card. I think you need to go within before making any decisions. And don't be over-explaining yourself and writing novels. And like I said, let this person lead with action. Because this is going to come up. Your attachments, your fixation, temptation, illusions, control freak. And if you activate this, it's because you're trying to control the outcome. You're trying to push it forward before it's ready to be pushed forward. So you'll just repeat a cycle. Okay. Outcome. Outcome, I do think you've got a broken bond, you've got broken trust here, so of course you both are going to be in high alert when it comes to every single detail. But I think with outcome you need to lead with intelligence, you need to lead with logic and not try and rush things. Now with this moon, I just wanted to confirm you do have 8 of Wands over the top, which is good. I do think there's going to be a rapid transformation when it does come to certain illusions and I don't want to say deceptions, but things that have been hidden that have created anxiety and fear. I do think you've got forward movement from this. But another thing I'm hearing, if you try and rush this, Eight of Wands, one of the quickest moving cards, it's going to be bound to illusions, fear and anxiety, because you're not building your bond back. You're just trying to get to the end stop without the stepping stones in between. You guys have a broken foundation, broken love, broken trust. You should be approaching this as, can we build a friendship again? Can we even be in each other's company without it being frictional? You should be thinking more logically, right? Just because they're coming in with these words, it doesn't mean, oh, okay, we're back together, I accept it all, because you won't trust in it. So you're just delaying the inevitable. I think if you guys can be smart and focus on just maybe more leading with the logic instead of the emotion, I do think it will rapidly transform. But again, if you're trying to rush it, I think it's going to go the other way. It takes time to build trust back. Oh. Yeah, that's what it could end up being in a Five of Wands. Remember, the reason this becomes so combative and chaotic is because the perceptions. You've got your truth, they've got their truth. You're not listening to each other's truth. No compromise, which creates the misunderstandings and chaos because everyone thinks they know the answers. No one's listening to one another. So if you guys are trying to rush it, and you're holding on to this stuff and you're walking on eggshells, it's going to end up being bloody chaotic. I want one more for that. You're still not on the same page emotionally. You've got to get on the same page emotionally. Two of Cups, emotional equal. Don't hold yourself on a pedestal. They can't hold themselves. Oh, but you hurt me, but you did this, but you did that. This is why I'd be focusing on building the bond back. You guys get into love relationship straight away. It's going to be too chaotic. You need balance of emotion. You need to find harmony again. Soulmate connection, in love, union, harmony, happy relationships, reconciliation. But friends, if you really believe in this, let it unfold. Again, this feels like a 50-50 outcome. So it more comes to how you approach it before. It's like nothing's set in stone. It's up to you guys. Oh, Ace, that's good. I do believe it's a pure intention. That's not the issue. I completely believe this is a pure intention. I really do. It's just that your perceptions aren't aligning. The way they're seeing things, it's making sense in my mind, but I don't think I was explaining it properly. That's not a good perception to have with all the damage that's been done. They should be able to accept you wanting to take it slow, or you choosing silence for a little bit, or you just saying, I need to think about, like, they should accept that without thinking so black and white. If they say no, that's it, I'm done, right? It's going to take time. Maybe you need to approach it that way. Let's just see how this goes. I want you in my life, but we've got to be a little bit realistic about it, right? I do think there's a pure intention, and I do think you guys will get to a point of beautiful, overflowing emotion and trusting in each other again. But when it comes to self-love, this has been a big issue for you guys. And I know that sounds like silly, but when we lack self-love and inadequacy, we bring insecurities into the relationship and we start accusing and doing this and you both need to feel safe in each other's energy. You both need to see each other as equal. They can't have you on a pedestal. You can't have that. You've got to see each other as equal. So it's not a claiming, accusatory kind of love, especially with what you guys have been through. I think this and this, beautiful. You will get here, but you can't rush it. Pure intentions, feelings are growing, self-love, rebirth, fertility, the right emotion. Last one. Oh. Eight of Swords, you will. It'll be hard. There'll be a lot of, especially with this devil energy coming over. Self-sacrifices, self-reflection, letting go of the past. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. You've got judgment here. Oh, different perspectives. And isn't it funny because I put that there and I do feel that. You guys, to get on the same page, first you need to build. You lead with emotion too much with each other, so you don't listen to each other because you've been hurt. Both of you have felt hurt. You don't understand why they feel hurt. They probably don't understand why you feel hurt. That's why you need to build a bond back so you guys can actually talk about this stuff. Again, outcome, don't rush it. Wait till things are unveiled and you feel there's trust being built here again. You're not sitting in anxiety. You both need to make changes, both of you. Not just this person, you both do. And that clear, transparent communication, effective communication. So until you guys can get to a point you have effective communication to at least try and compromise on perspectives, don't be rushing anything. And another thing I'm hearing, I'm hearing it, I'm going to say it, I wouldn't be rushing to see each other. Like, it would just end up being too much, I think, for this collective. Let them lead. Let them lead. I do think you need to go within and be smart. They're trying to get you to break a cycle. So anything you're repeating from a past cycle, if that is not broken, you'll go back around the roundabout. Don't take the moment of bliss. Think more long term. But that's up to you. Okay. You've got the golden elixir here, so you're calling to each other. This little roller, you could have a rollerblading memory or ice skating memory, but adventure, spontaneity, go out here and there, and again, get the light-hearted energy back in the connection. Star, the Venus star, magic all around you, lightning. I do think this is coming in quickly. When I got the purple deck, that's movement within the week. That seems like rocky communication. This may still take a couple weeks. I think if this comes in within this week, I think that's answer enough. It's time to put things under review, not to try and fix things. But you've got the chains being lifted, so maybe you are switching veils. This hardly ever comes out. This is about the shackles coming off, you guys. The veils coming off. Maybe. You got my royal love charm. You guys have had a life of royalty. This is a true 20 charm of mine. Sapphire. Could be a birthstone. Their birthstone. Communication bell. 2 feathers. You could have just found 2 feathers, but signs, synchronicities. Let's get you some dice. So dates, angel numbers. 12 by itself, 6 of the 3rd, 3rd of the 6th, 2nd of the 6th, 6th of the 2nd, 23rd of the 6th, and then 1 by itself. 1, 2, 2, angel number, or 1, 2, 1. 13th of the 3rd, 3, 3. You could be seeing 13, 31, or 13, 13, or 3, 3, 3 a lot. 3rd of the 6th, 6th of the 3rd, 7th of the 3rd, 3rd of the 7th. All right, my loves. Oh, 4 and 20. 20th of the 4th, 20th of this month, 20th of the 4th. All right, lots of love and have a good day.